Hey traders, welcome to another edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex, featured by Trading Analysis. So as usual, we're going to go over a couple of things in the macro world, look a couple of charts, and then we're going to switch to cryptos, which is basically the main theme of this Crypto Lab. The macro teams are connected with the crypto world, so that's why we try to kind of marry these 2 points in perspective of global liquidity and the global conditions, of course, in the financial system, because the crypto world is still not decoupled, at least in this phase, from the overall markets. So let's start. Lots of things to digest after the latest inflationary numbers going to 9.1%. As usual, we're going to go through the macro presentation and the crypto presentation, and then you can actually in the comment box or chat box leave your comments or a couple of cryptos that we may look for you. So let's start. Let's look current 27th of July, which is in the almost 10-13 days. Next Fed meeting after the inflationary report is already jumped 85.7%. The Fed is going to raise a full 1% or 100 basis points. So as you can see, as I told you last time, this Fed CME tool varies upon the certain very important reports. And from yesterday, the chances for the Fed to hike only 75 basis points actually diminished to 14%, and a full 1% move on the upside are started to be priced in around 85.7% now. Next meeting in September, as you can see, we are also looking for 75.3% move from, let's say, if they move 100 basis points here and we finish at 2.5 to 2.75, so the next are going for 75 basis points currently, but of course we will see new reports coming and this might change. So for the first or for the next Fed meeting, 83.3%, and the next hike will be a full 100 basis points move. So of course that left to be seen. I think this is the highest number in inflation we will get. Many commodities are already trading as that was already our theme of this crypto lab for the last couple of weeks, that the commodities are going to be weaker, which actually happened. So I think that will actually go through the inflation in number in the couple of next reports. So I think this will be the at least temporary high in these inflationary readings. So let's jump in. Let's look 10-year yields. I'm going to glare the charts. So for now, our best case scenario is that actually rates on the US 10-year is around completing the cycle on the upside. We are starting to consolidating here, which I don't like particularly from the perspective of rates moving initially in 5 waves down lower and actually mark the completion of this trend. So we can still not anchor this wave 5 from the Elliott Wave perspective here. We have to have a little bit more patience here because this can actually morph into some type of a triangulation with a small push and the final push on the upside. So remember, triangles in the Elliott Wave, no matter of a degree, actually tells you that this is the last move. Like from this triangle, this could be a final move in the 5th wave, and on this smaller degree, this also could be a 5th move on the upside if this starts to consolidate furthermore, and then we're going to see the pause that we expect. So let's see how this will unfold. For now, we cannot still anchor wave 5 here because we don't see a clear 5-way move from these highs. Situation in the Europe is much more difficult than in the United States. If you look the rates or the possibility to hike rates, of course, this large trend on the 10-year Bund, which is the German 10-year equivalent to the US counterpart, this 40-year trend is broken. As you can see, this was a big deflationary move on the downside. So we had a nice breakout on the upside. Definitely from the Elliott Wave perspective, we do consider this to be a wave 3 of 3 because of its character and verticality on the upside. And if you see that, of course, you have to account that there will be a couple of more expansions on the upside. So we look this as some type of a correction in the intermediary wave 4 if we take this sequence from the lows as a primary one. So we're going to stay in some type of a sideways back and forth range before after a couple of months we continue and actually post wave 5. So the ECB is still at 0. They still need to start hiking rates, and inflation in Europe, at least the last readings in Spain, was around 10.6, I think. So they're well behind the curve. But anyhow, technically, from these two perspectives, we do see a potential 5-way move after we're going to see some pause. If we look dollar index is continue to trade higher pretty much strongly. Our last resort levels for the dollar index, which is the usual ratio, I was hoping we're going to reverse a little bit earlier, but the dollar is just keep going higher. We are trading almost to 109. So if you project on this bigger and smaller degrees, you will get a couple of clusters around 1010 or 110 to 112. So I think most likely dollar index will continue a little bit more higher. If we look inside this sequence, this can be a 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5 for potentially some time. In the next couple of weeks, dollar could continue higher. I don't think we will go to 120 as some people calling. This is actually what they're trying to portray as a potential resistance. I think looking the whole sequence, either if you look at it from the corrective perspective or from the impulsive perspective, this will be a pretty, I will say, not consistent with the rest of the legs. If we get this higher leg up to 120, 122. I think 110, 112 will be the final touch before we see some corrective pullback. Both sides, if we look from the normal technical perspective, the RSI is already bumping in, make a little bit divergence, which is not so big between this wave 3 and this wave 5 developing, which is already higher. But I think that dollar is losing its mojo, at least look from this perspective, and that we're gonna post a little bit more upside, and then we're gonna reverse. So I will prepare for reversal. I see also that in a couple of other charts. So either you can label this as an ABCX up in A, down in B, up in C, or you can count this as a pure 5-way move. Even in that case, this will be the final 5th wave on the upside, and then the correction will follow. So for the dollar, I think a couple of more weeks on the upside, and then we're going to correct a little bit bigger correction or a smaller one. We will see when we see initial move lower. On the commodity spectrum, our Thomson Reuters index is functioning very nicely. We were looking for a move lower after this 5 waves up. A little bit above 306, we had 2 targets. Secondary one was at 0.618. This is a couple of fib ratios, which I'm gonna discover with you on the next course that I'm gonna produce in the next couple of weeks. So I will give you information on that. So there is a couple of ratios how we measure potential targets. We went a little bit upside of this first target, and then we are reversing in 5 waves, which means actually that this index is still not completed a full corrective swing. We're going to stay here a couple of months, either in a complex correction, something like triangles, or WXY, or in a pure ABC movement before we start moving higher, maybe in the March, even April of 2023. So this is left to be seen, but what is important is that from these highs where the 5-wave sequence is done, we can already count 5 waves down, which means that we're going to see after a pullback a continuation in one or another form of this correction further. Oil is trading around a lower support. We are trading, this is Brent, around 96.18 due to pricing in of a global potential demand destruction, which actually Fed is looking for to tame inflation. Oil is moving lower. We are challenging the lower bound of the consolidation I was talking about. We need to break this lower in order for me to change this outlook. I still think that oil will continue higher. I don't think that a full five-way swing actually is completed here. I have seen this wave count potentially, but I don't think that, I mean, it can be some type of a double top, but I still don't have much of a confirmation here. I will need to see a full five-way move below 63 and even 60 to actually turn bearish on oil. For now, we don't see that. I will still stay with the overall wave count. There is no need for me to change the wave count if I see only a three-way move to the downside, actually bumping into a first support. So I need a lot of more downside price action to change this bullish view on oil for the next couple of years. Net gas is bouncing a little bit. We have dropped nicely from our 1618 levels for the wave 3. As I said, seasonality is kicking in, and also this move up was caused by the problems with the gas and maintenance of pipeline in Russia. Everybody's afraid that Russia will not renew supplies to Europe. I think this will be just maintenance, and the Russia will do that. So this is left to be seen. There is, I think, 2 weeks maintenance period that is occurring every now and then, which is a normal operation. But we will see afterwards if the Russia does not renew supplying. Of course, these prices can jump higher, but I don't see any relevance that we can actually anchor still this wave 3. This looks like a five-way move, and in potential disguise of a flat. I think that wave 4s need some time to develop, so I will still stay with this potential longer correction in an ABC or WXY, which I think is going to unfold until September, October, and then with the current situation and seasonality, net gas will continue higher towards 14, 15 because of course, winter consumption. That all depends, of course, how the strong winter be, but usually the gas is pretty much consumed from November, even October. So I think this price, following this Elliott Wave script, will continue to grow further towards these levels. Copper is moving lower, so I think the flat is going on here. I think this is 1, 2, and we are in the wave 3. So this is just a 335. I think this will be support around 2.56. And also we can look the higher time frame. I will prepare some wave counts and view on copper on a higher time frame. For now, I don't think this is the end of this move lower. I do look this as just a corrective pullback, and I think after this is done, we're going to continue higher, especially if we see dollar moving lower. So for now, the correlation is now starting to work. So I've published that on my Twitter. For a couple of months, dollar and commodities was going higher, hand in hand. So the old correlation, commodities lower, dollar higher, and vice versa, was not working. But now it's in full force suddenly. And we see many commodities like also soybean, corn, wheat, and all of the others that I've shown moving sharply lower. Of course, with copper and dollar higher, which is kind of a part of the old inverse correlation. So as I said on dollar, I still don't think that this is the end of that move. Maybe a couple of more weeks, and then we will see some higher corrective pullbacks or even reversal of the trend in dollar. So let's switch to cryptos. Cryptos are still bouncing. This is the total crypto market cap. Cryptos are still bouncing around 38%. I do see still this as a consolidation in a fourth wave in a total crypto market cap. Even if you make this wave 3 here, this is just an ABC pullback. We can morph into some type of a triangle, but then this will be the lowest point, which I think it will be on total crypto market cap and on Bitcoin. Not much news. I think that Celsius is filing for bankruptcy. This is already, I think, priced in. So a lot of purge of many things in the crypto space, especially leverage as well. And I think for now we are holding well these support levels as indicated. In the same situation, we can find Bitcoin. If we look this overall chart that we were looking for a long time. So again, I forget gold and silver. So before going to Bitcoin, I will quickly go to silver and gold. So gold is following our path to the downside. We are closing for a particular visible levels that we have on this weekly chart, 200 moving average, 38% retracement, couple of lower and higher degree ratios, all in confluence from 1,700 to 1,550. So I think that will be the area from where we might see impulsive bounce on the upside. RSI is also sharply moving lower towards the levels around 30. And I do still think we are in some type of a fourth wave here. Actually, equality of time spent in a wave 2 and a wave 4 will be around September 1st. I think it's 1st or 2nd. This doesn't show, this shows 11th. Maybe it's 11th. I think I looked at on maybe another scale. But around beginning of September, let's say, we might see some potential basing process and dollar starts to move lower. So also gold is in that hand, as well as silver. As you know, I have been bearish silver. I didn't buy this move on the upside because I saw only 3 waves on the upside. We are actually itching nicely towards my lower levels, which are between 17 and 16, and I will say in a more drastic manner around 15.56. So I do have a couple of fib ratios where I think this will stop. You can count this in a complex or a simple ABC pullback. Really doesn't matter. The context is the same and the ratio is the same. This looks pretty much like a 5-way move to the downside. RSI is almost below 30, so I think silver might reverse earlier than gold and continue and show us some actually impulsive price action on the upside. So both of them are actually moving lower in line of our suspicious that we had for the price action in gold and silver. So let me go back to the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is still trading below 200 moving average. There is lots of supports there. Wave count invalidation still rests at this level here, which is around 3,826. So until we break this invalidation level, I cannot become bearish on a Bitcoin. I still think we are in some type of a wave 3 completion either here or here, and that this is just a corrective pullback or a longer term triangle, which we will actually complete as we approach first part of 2023. So what I would like to see on the Bitcoin also with this RSI weekly here, I would like a move up above this 200 moving average like we had in this last couple of cases. As you can see, same thing. So 200 moving average was actually penetrated here, here, and here. And then we consolidated a little bit. So I think that the basing process here will take time because the markets actually are trying to see a little bit in advance. So for now, if we look the smaller time frame, we do see some formation. This can be some type of a flat with a 5-way move and then continuation on the upside. We have been long with our members from 19,500. We were stopped out at 20K. We lift our stops on the upside. So you have to wish, actually you have to fish a couple of times if you think that the low is forming, because the couple of different formations actually can happen. But I don't still need to change this wake count because we didn't actually trade it below these lows here. I still think we are going to actually spend a little bit more time here before we see some move on the upside. Even if this is the end of correction or a formation of a smaller triangle with this wave 3 here, this will be the lowest point I think that we'll see in cryptos. Of course, we can go back and forth around this range, but I'm going to look to renew our longs around these levels or with a little bit lower levels if I look this on a smaller time frame. So the same thing is going on with Ether. So Ether is still hovering around or a little bit below this 200 moving average. We do expect some type of a flat. This can be some type of a larger consolidation in ABC down. So until we break this low here, I cannot say that we're going to continue lower. Okay, so this is a daily chart. On a weekly one, we still trade around the historic lows on the RSI, and we are starting to form some type of a I will not say a basing process, but a consolidation around this weekly 200 moving average. Of course, we'll be very glad to see some bars above weekly 200 moving average. So in the next couple of weeks, if we form a couple of bars with the higher prices, I will definitely increase probability that Ether will very soon break out on the upside and give us some clues for this trend upside continuation. So the wave counting validation, which means that all of this is not valid, comes around 366, and we are almost $650 far away from that. So I still do think that this is some type of a wave 4, and that after this pacing process back and forth actually completes, I think we're going to continue higher. So that's the main presentation, guys. So the overall conclusion is that we are still not in the environment which actually will give us a little bit more advanced consolidation in cryptos. CPI print was higher, but looking all of these commodity prices, as I pointed out, I think this will be the highest one that we are going to see for some times. I do expect these prices to go down with this in the next couple of reports. So we have seen also in the report yesterday that the food was one of the main components of the inflation on the upside, but the prices, as you can see on charts, went lower on a basic ingredients as well as in energy. So these prices should go down, and that can affect the next figures, which will go out. So I think we are entering the pause, inflationary pause, which will last a couple of months. And I would like to see that we hold these levels and make some basing process above 200 moving average, which will be encouraging for the crypto trend continuation on the upside after some time. Of course, it will not happen immediately as maybe it happened before, because this is a very particular situation with the high inflation problems, with war in Europe and lots of debt in the system. But eventually, I think it's going to be reached. So let me go and look a couple of charts for you guys. I see XRP is asked. I still have a view that XRP is some type of a triangulation. So let me glare this chart. So if I look the whole chart, this is the real data. I just don't have them here. So I made them deliberately just to have an orientation. From the time perspective, time spent in the wave 2 and the wave 4 are still in line with the overall guidelines. We do look for 2618 ratio as a last resort when we measure this time elapsed in a wave 2 and a wave 4. So I see these subdivisions as a 3 waves everywhere. So I think we are very close to a potential C wave low up in D and E, and then we can, after this consolidation, maybe November, December, January 2023, start to move on the upside. So that will be my view on the Ripple. I will do a couple of more requests and then we will wrap it up. Tron, I think Tron is holding nicely. We do cover Tron with our members, so we do see this as a potential wave 2. We do see this as a potential leading diagonal with a little bit more downside, but this still has to be still be validated before we can, with a little bit more probability, continue to look Tron to go further on the upside. So This has some indications that potentially this wave 2 actually we can anchor here, but for now I would like to see what will happen in this correction. I would not like to see this deepening lower, because then the other targets might be met on the downside. So for now it is holding good. It needs to make only 3 waves on the downside and then continue further up. I don't know, I'm not, guys, I'm not thinking in likelihoods. I'm trying to quantify or observe the overall data and the technical charts from this couple of perspectives, either Elliott Wave or usual technicals. So for now, I don't see any signs we are going to 12 or 10K. So I don't see that still on a Bitcoin. Okay, so I don't like to go too much in some predictions. The wave structure and a couple of other things doesn't indicate that for now. Okay, so I'm not still looking at that type of event. Summary: Serbia is good, thanks. Actually, in a couple of days, I'm going to pack my things and move to Montenegro for 20 days or 30 days. Of course, I will maintain the Crypto Lab and members updates. So it's going to be a working holiday, but anyhow, I will be down there on the sea, using half of the day for a vacation and half of the day work. So that's, I think it's better than to stay in Belgrade over summer. So yeah, I don't see 11K, guys. I mean, in that case, wave count will be invalidated, and then we'll have to look for some other types of Elliott Wave patterns. So for now, I don't see it. Okay, guys, let's look Sol or Solana, and let's wrap it up. So if you like to see more of our work, you can go to Trading Analysis website. We have an extensive crypto coverage. So we do cover many cryptos with our members, and also we do swing trade. We also have lots of activity in Discord. So I think we do a good job with cryptos. So let me just find Solana. This is basically what we cover with our members. So this is all of the cryptos that we also do, and upon request we do fulfill the requests from members on their own cryptos if we don't have them already. So let's look for Solana. Let me just find it here in the list. So Solana is around 33. So for now, I think no indication yet on Solana. It's a sideways consolidation. I talked that with my members. Is this some type of an expanding leading diagonal with a complex correction? Still early to say. So I'm waiting. I have a couple of indications, but I'm still waiting. I'm not jumping in. Just a couple of swing trades on a Bitcoin. But for the rest, I'm still waiting. This is not enough for me to actually anchor that we are done in this correction in Solana. Okay, it looks like a consolidation yet. Okay, guys, thank you for the attendance on the Crypto Lab. We're gonna go shorter a bit today. If you like to check our work, you can visit us at Trading Analysis, and we're gonna continue to fill you up with the macro environment and the basic observations from a couple of angles on Bitcoin and Ether. As I said, the overall conclusion, I think inflation numbers will go lower as we see all of these commodities, which was our theme for the last couple of months. I think we will have an inflationary pause. I think cryptos might do well in that inflationary pause, so that therefore I'm not positioned for lower. I don't see 10K, I don't see even 13K yet. No conditions on the chart perspective for that, so we're gonna pursue potential longs for now. So see you guys next week, and take care. Bye bye.